Entrepreneurship Center at the University of North Florida, and we do a lot of things, but it's not about Blackstone today, it's about our special team. They're going to introduce themselves and explain why vaping is something we need to hear.
So, good afternoon, everyone. This is our presentation. I'm Samaike Carlin.
I'm Camila Lovera.
I'm Jordan Reeves.
And I'm Aditi Sriramata.
And we are Team Unhook.
So we hope that with our intervention, we will unhook teens from their vapes.
And as listed here is our table of contents, which will begin with the problem, and then we will continue on to our intervention.
So the problem with vaping is that vaping here is less than 20 years old and has already been declared an epidemic by the FDA in 2019. E-cigarettes and vapes are the #1 most purchased tobacco product in America. And this affects more than just the people in our country. However, it is a communal issue here in Jacksonville. 1 in 5 students in Jacksonville have been affiliated with vapes or tried vapes in their life. And this affects more than just their physical health, as it also contributes to the top two mental health problems in students today, that being stress and anxiety.
So the first set of data that we took was the reasons for vaping among adolescents. As you can see, all of these percentages are very significant and very high, with the lowest being about 1/4 of all students vaping for a given reason, and the highest being about 3/4 of all students vaping for a given reason. The highest percentages are coming specifically from the category of relaxing and relieving tension, meaning students are turning to the vape as a form of catharsis, as a way to get rid of the stresses and anxieties that come with school. However, it's also important to note the category of experimentation, because that can easily be attributed to peer pressure. So just simply being around a peer who vapes, or even if the peer is offering the vape to the teenager, it can very easily implant the idea into impressionable minds. The second set of data we took was the purchase of tobacco products among teenagers. So out of all tobacco products, e-cigarettes were among the highest amount purchased. This is likely due to the accessibility and the portability of the vape. They are about 2 to 4 inches in size, meaning that students can easily sneak them into schools, and they can bypass detection from students, staff members, teachers, anybody really.
People know that vapes are bad, but very few know what's actually in them. As listed here are chemicals that are inside vapes, and these are the same chemicals that go into paint, gasoline, and mosquito repellent. So if mosquitoes are being killed by this, what makes you think that you won't be hurt? These dangers are hidden by the company's marketing. For instance, companies will have nicotine-free labels even though they still contain trace amounts of nicotine in them.
And connecting to that point, the biggest danger behind vaping is that it's been often advertised as a healthier alternative to smoking cigarettes. And this is further from the truth, because vaping undergoes more processes and synthetic appearances to make them more appealing to students. And one of this is the synthetic scents put into vapes to make them more appealing to younger students. These scents can contribute to more dangerous diseases, like popcorn lung, as these dangerous scents can get into the bronchioles of your lungs and contribute to long-term lung damage.
And to add on to Jordan's point about the marketing, experts have found a relationship between cigarettes and vapes and the way that they affect lung damage. And this is really dangerous because by hiding these warning labels and hiding behind mathematics, these marketing strategies are just as dangerous as the chemicals in vapes.
And now we're going to get into our public service announcement. So as mentioned in the last part of our PSA, we made a reference to an app, Now we get into the role of apps. Apps are really critical and they're a really essential part of our lives, especially because teens are constantly on their phones, and therefore, as long as you have a phone, you can download an app. So with our app, we intend to keep our app's features free throughout, because a lot of apps online are based on the concept of freemium, which is 1 or 2 features are given for free, but everything else must be paid for. And we intend to keep all our features free throughout by partnering with organizations that support healthier lifestyles for teens, such as DCPS, Truth Initiative, which is a leading nonprofit dedicated to anti-vaping in teens, and Tobacco Free Florida, as well as Tobacco Free Jacksonville. And our app, Unhook, is based on a really important principle in psychology to address addiction and cycles, positive reinforcement. And by rewarding users with small tasks such as checking in, logging, and tracking their cycles, triggers, cravings, mood, all those things, we intend to keep a loop going that will continue to, take small, actionable steps to create better choices and healthier lungs in the future. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to make sure that teens know that they can make positive choices for their future with small, actionable steps. One of our features, as mentioned on there, is an anonymous community. And this is really important because teens need to know that they're not alone in this, and they can absolutely get the support that they need from peers. And this is contrasted to one of the reasons that we talked about earlier, which is peer pressure. We also intend to have a sponsorship similar to the AA.
And further connecting with this, beyond our app, our goal as Team Unhook is to create a holistic approach to curing teens from their addictive habits that can affect them further in their lives. Our goal is to make this into a community impact. 1 in 5 students is dangerous, and 1 in 5 students is a statistic that we can change as a community. Through partnering with corporations like Mayo Clinic and Duval County Public Schools, we can bring this closer to the effect of teens. And we can make a difference as a community rather than just one person.
Thank you everyone for listening to our presentation, and these are the sources that we used. And any questions?
Judges? Have you built the app already?
Yes, we have.
It's up and running?
Yeah. We have the link right over there.
What strategies would you deploy to get the app sort of to the intended audience? So how would you intend to market it to make sure that the affected group of students becomes knowledgeable about this resource?
So as we mentioned, we talked about in the end, there are programs to complement the app. So our school has club fairs. We could definitely promote like anti-vaping organizations' awareness to build on this, but also definitely offering similar programs through like after-school programs or extracurriculars. We can definitely bring awareness to this, and also possibly a QR code to scan.
Thank you for your presentation. You all were very well prepared. What are some considerations that you had in mind as far as what would be effective amongst your peers in choosing an app over maybe other solutions?
When we created our app, we took in a lot of considerations with the psychological effects of vapes on teens and like how they've affected people specifically. And then with different features of our apps, they can connect to different parts of like what's commonly found with the target, like reasons why people use vapes and how to influence that and create better habits. So through this, that's like what we've used.
Any more questions, judges? One more round of applause. That was a wonderful opportunity. Great job. I was told too, we forgot to shout out the faculty coaches. Do you mind standing?